Got themselves locked and loaded, so they got the xiaolaohu Thresh, something he is very prolific on, and it just enables Elk to do what he always does, which is just hard carry, go very aggressive, but have that safety net that can catch him should he go a bit too far.
Yeah, Ryze picked up by FPX here, though, with the Galio taken off the board. Still opportunity for Cryin to go back towards something like the Orianna if he wants to, but as we said, Cryin wants to try and move, wants to try and roam, and now TF, Galio, Ryze taken off the board as well. We kind of got to wait and see what the plan is here for Cryin to go back to, but with the Aphelios taken over for Lwx, it feels like a Jinx angle for me.
Yep, it feels like the tried and true tested matchup in the bot side, the Jinx versus the Aphelios. You have got the Thresh available to you on the side of Ultra Prime, so you're not going to be too upset with this particular setup. But now where do you want to go in terms of your last pick? Because it is going to be on FPX to maybe decide do they want to go towards their support. They could probably leave that, pick up a jungler, maybe even go for the Gwen, something that they can then prioritize in the next round of bans. They have a lot of options available to them, as Cryin going to go straight for the LeBlanc into the Ryze matchup.
Yes, you can do pretty well against the Ryze, especially if you're looking for like a strong mid jungle pairing. Try and play through mid, unlock Cryin from the mid. But we'll have to see if that's the plan here for Ultra Prime. Looking across at FPX though, feels like a support or a jungle is their best answer here. A lot of the time you don't really want to go towards like Leona's or Nautilus's into the Thresh, so it looks like it's just going to be the Lulu coming in that bot lane.
So it is going to be the Lulu. Should be decent enough as well for the team fights. Of course, the LeBlanc goes in. You can polymorph out. Very good into assassin players. Very good at stopping that very big burst damage coming down. And honestly, can force a lot of mistakes coming out from the other side. So we'll see what FPX now want to prioritize, as they will have the jungle priority once they come out of this
Honestly,
ban.
I think Ultra Prime matches the jungle bans here, because you don't want to give like xiaolaohu or Olaf or these kind of early game champions over with the Lulu there. So I think you kind of need to start banning away jungles of your own, because FPX will, if they're allowed to, take xiaolaohu into this next rotation. You pair that really well with Lulu. You've now got Hong and Clid who can link up together super well, and that's why you're seeing that band away just straight off bat.
Now, last ban to come in. Looks like Ultra Prime are very happy to say, look, we'll take away the bans. We feel like Hacker has a decent champion pool to respond. Still have options like the Diana. Would mean you would be looking to very much heavily go towards that top side in terms of your AD, but you know, the Diana Renekton combination could be an avenue there for either of these sides. We'll see where they want to go. And FPX taking their time with their last ban, want to make sure they go for what they feel will be the worst thing for them. It looks like the Volibear are going to be banned away. I would be very surprised if Ultra Prime do not ban away the Viego here.
Yeah, I think the Viego is kind of the last one. Like, Lee Sin taking off the board, Volley, Jarvan, Xinxiao, Viego. Then you're kind of moving down into like the Dianas and this kind of stuff, which doesn't really pair very well with the Lulu. Yes, you can kind of add like more CC onto the Moonfall if you want to, but not really the best of places to go towards now. FPX though, with them having the first pick, it's just pick your jungler, right? Because otherwise you're just going to fall way too far down the list, and it will be that Viego.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with going with this. Clid had a pretty decent job on it in the last game, so gets himself locked and loaded there. So now where do you go for a Hacker? You've got, as you mentioned, a couple of options, but there's not really a lot of great synergy here with the Diana, and I feel like right now there's not a huge amount of great options for him to go towards.
Yeah, maybe something like the Olaf could be the play here. The other option is like a Rek'Sai. We've seen Udyr come out from Hacker before in the past as well, but yeah, you don't really want to go for like double AP, so the Diana is not really where you want to try and go for your mid jungle, especially if you're going to take this Gwen topside. Like, you've way too much AP damage. You also kind of want a front line of some description here, just because if Gwen's going to be there, it's not really going to work out. We'll have to see what the plan is. Hacker. Yeah, I don't know.
He's going down the list. It's not really a huge level. There we go. This is a little bit more like it. If he does lock this one, yes, it is. So Hecarim coming back into it. We are seeing a little bit more of him on 12.3 in the other regions. It is something that can work very well, and honestly is a good catch-all for what Ultra Prime needed in this comp.
Yeah, especially with the chem tank changes, like he does really well off of that. So being able to power that up, get a big auto attack off of your E, a lot of burst damage sets up nicely. And as well, now you've got good engage, which was kind of sorely lacking on Ultra Prime, and at least a decent frontliner as well to provide access for this Jinx. Because when you look at FPX, right, like, where's the engage? How the hell did they try and start a fight? They're very much orientated into these side lanes, but if you can like actually have Hecarim very easily able to start off fights and look for dives onto people like Lwx underneath towers, you're actually going to cause major issues for FPX.
Now you're locked and loaded. You've got a lot of different opportunities here. Looking at the two compositions, how do the guys want to play this? How do they want to try and find their opportunities? And where are they going to get the most out of their compositions?
So for Ultra Prime, I feel like playing through your mid jungle is your best bet, right? Like, have Cryin set up with the chains, allow Hacker access into the mid lane, and really punish Gori in these early stages. Prevent him from moving off to the side lanes. Because otherwise, if Gori starts to get ahead and can actually have influence up towards the top side towards xiaolaohu, he can really start to have or at least be a thorn in the side of Ultra Prime. So we'll have to see if Ultra Prime can actually come out and like get off the bat swinging, because last time they were very slow in enacting anything.
Well, we'll wait and see. Both teams locked and loaded. Curious to see what Hacker can do with this Hecarim. As you mentioned, a lot of power with the Turbo Chem Tank, excuse me. Chemtech Soul is dead. You know, Kedro killed it, as if
Yeah.
that was when you killed it. You were an accomplice to the death.
No. If you watch the LEC bit,
Yeah.
they cut me out. So I am not an accomplice.
You were there. You could have saved him. I
they
know
cut
you
me
could
out of the
have.
burger flipping video. Hashtag not salty.
This is where you get your grievances out. It's just like, you come back to LPL, you're just like, damn. It's like, this is where you're appreciated. This is where you are loved, Dagda. This is where the people come to see you because you know all the things about LPL. But we're going to jump straight back into the game. We're going to talk about how these teams want to go for it. It looks like FPX willing to try and maybe look for a little bit of a cheeky play down this bot side. xiaoC might be in a little bit of trouble. No, he backs away. Hong just walks a little bit too far forward.
I mean, you say trouble. Who the hell stops him from walking away? Like,
True,
level
actually,
1
yeah.
Ryze has like a slow. And another slow. It's like,
I mean,
good
you could
job,
technically take,
folks.
you could take a route on Viego. It would destroy your jungle path.
I was
but
gonna
you
say, yeah,
could.
if you want to completely ruin your entire early clear, sure. But I mean, I genuinely think this is gonna be an issue for FPX, right? Like, you don't really have anyone who threatens Elk in the back line when we get to late game. ZS is gonna be able to plonk himself in the front line, and everyone on FPX is gonna be scared because that hollowed mist means that this short range team can't really deal damage to ZS, but he could certainly hit back. So honestly, I think for FPX, this might be a bit of a draft diff unless they're able to get this ball rolling and just like overcome it with an insane gold lead.
That's where we could maybe see it. We saw early proactivity in the start of this. Is xiaoC going to walk forward onto Hong and then take the Glitter Lance to the face, but like I said in the first games, Hong needs to be a little bit careful. We'll get slowed down for an absolute eternity because of that glacial augment. But in the first game, it was about that early proactivity for FPX, and this is something that we've been pretty praising, you know, pretty high praise for this team, is that they are very, very solid when it comes to those trades and those early setups. But it's when the game moves forward that they do tend to lose it. So for me, like you mentioned there, I want to see FPX try and maybe get that early lead and then keep that early lead as they go into the mid to late game team fights.
I'm just kind of surprised to see Hacker's pathing here. Hecarim is not a champion that really wants to start solo on the top side of the map, because obviously his Q, you want to try and hit multiple things. So trying to like solo clear your top side where you can try and juggle both the blue and the Gromp together, but it really doesn't work out, and that's why you're kind of looking like a very slow first clear where he's comparatively to Viego, right? Like already hitting 3 camps, pushing through, and Hacker now moving over towards this Gromp at least, the Raptors at least will be spotted, but what is traditionally a very fast clear for the Hecarim, Klid's actually managing to keep pace with, just because you have Hacker starting solo on this top side.
Yeah, and that's the big thing that's going to work in the favor of FPX. They now have information that Hecarim was down towards that bot side. So again, it's the information you know, and also using the information you know the enemy knows. You know if you know, as you mentioned earlier today. So we'll wait to see if it... No one knows. That's the whole point. But moving back into it now, Klid has an opportunity here with the knowledge of where the Hecarim could be. They're actually going to try and maybe take away this scuttle. Hacker just runs straight in. I don't know if Klid really wants to take this fight because bot lane's already pushing against him, but he has mid for support.
Yeah, I mean, Klid's just kind of taking the trade here because he knows that the E on Hecarim is down because he ran into it. Gori now fighting against Cryin.
Yeah, they are going to try and trade a little bit on the health bars. We will see the Rune Prism come down. Gori cannot keep going in this trade, and it is going to be a secure of the scuttle for Ultra Prime. They, as I mentioned, had priority in that bot side. They're able to push themselves over. Flash! Not going to land the hook. xiaoC feeling very confident, but now Klid maybe looking to make something turn back on this. Hung very aggressive, not with his flash anymore, but just getting some nice stacks on his spell thieves and then backs himself away.
Hung ignited xiaolaohu. It's just like this guy just looks at Summoner Spell's basic abilities. Oh no!
He has no summoner spells left, and he's going to be donated over to the Elk Fund for AD carries. Very, very, very over-aggressive there. And FPX, we talked about them getting an early lead. This is not what they needed in bot side.
Not even close. And see xiaolaohu, nice hook there to set that up. And Clid now moving in towards this bottom side. Trying to see if he can just help the Lwx push this in, because otherwise Elk and xiaolaohu can once more look for a play on towards Lwx. But he's going to struggle here, especially if xiaolaohu sticks around.
Oh, xiaolaohu is going to miss the hook. Gets gravity field down. It's going to grab a thumbs down. He just get the flay back. Will he have one more auto attack? Yes, he will, but Lwx now no flash. Walks straight onto the trap. Another donation to the foundation of Elk and ADCs in need. And that's going to be 2 kills for the Jinx. Honestly, without the Lulu here, it feels like it could have been even worse.
Really could have been, but it does mean that Elk now has 2 kills, and it is 1 back for Lwx, but the sizable wave crashing for Elk means he's going to be in a good spot as well. So this Jinx, we talked about nobody really been able to deal with her in team fights. Well, she's already got the ball rolling in her favor.
Again, big moment here for Elk. The guy has been the big carry for Ultra Prime, as we look to see now here. This is just Lwx saying, look, I may be able to make something work for myself, but does have to overextend to get that kill back.
Yeah, and unfortunate here for xiaolaohu, that hook going wide. I actually think there could have been a decent bit of damage on towards that. Oh, okay.
Well,
They're just dead.
moved into mid, and they got a kill onto Gori.
I mean, nice job from xiaolaohu, but I wanted to look at Hacker and Cryin playing through mid. It doesn't matter if xiaolaohu's going to take that mantle instead. All you wanted to do was kill Gori, so that then you can get more pressure coming through from Cryin. Already has that Dark Seal now with 2 stacks. Reset, picking up 2 of those Amplifying Tomes. He now has a decent control of the mid lane that he can look to move elsewhere on the map.
Look at the picture here. It's just a Hex Flash over the wall and just forces them into a really bad situation with the Ethereal Chain landing. Just a very, very easy cleanup. Gori even flashed as well. Didn't use his cleanse. Very important to recognize. Or sorry, didn't have a cleanse. He has a sealed spellbook, so now has a cleanse in case it happens again.
Yeah, kind of going, well, not going to have that one happen to me a second time. But again, nice start here from Ultra Prime, right? And if we're looking at them trying to push us to a game 3, this definitely looks like the start for it. Elk looking good, LeBlanc looking good. And although ZS still struggling in the top side against xiaolaohu, in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't really matter if Elk and Cryin are just massive.
Well, Dragon now secured. That's a nice little solo Drake here for the Hecarim. And gets him a tiny little bit of extra movement speed, so he already gains a little bit of attack damage. The only one who really benefits from that unique little passive, but nonetheless, move back into the game. And like I said, top side, not really a big deal for the side of Ultra Prime. However, xiaolaohu has proven that if he farms up and gets to a critical mass point of view in about 25 minutes, he already has 3 items and has done nothing, and then he just absolutely smashes people's face in. So something to keep an eye on as we wait as this game goes on. Clid has now found himself sitting in the tri-bush, but Hacker is in tow. He's starting to recall and has left already. Elk going to be using the Dark Passage to keep himself safe. And FPX just trying to make an opportunity happen. Clid spending a lot of time here. Isn't losing a lot because it's only his Red Bull full.
Cryin just getting some decent damage onto Gori in the mid lane. Clid is still sticking around here though. They really want to see if they can make this happen. No flash in xiaolaohu.
No flash, no stun, no hook. Everything misses and everyone goes back to farming.
It was a nice try. Hacker still though back on this top side. I'm looking at this ghost coming up from Hacker. He's going to hit 6 soon as well. And I mean, Cryine's taking some great trades mid.
Lwx not taking a great trade at all. You do have the Super Mega Det Rocket available to Elk as he does ping level 6. So a little bit of a scary situation there for Elk. Did have cleanse available to him, but not going to have to use it just yet. Now Hacker using the priority he has on the top side of the map to maybe try and take this for Herald, but see the minimap. Gori's going for Lwx in a lot of trouble. They're going to try and maybe put him into a pretty decent position. You can see the zap and the hook going to go wide. No mana available for Elk for the Super Mega Det Rocket, and this 2v2 is going very much in favor of Ultra Prime. We go straight back up towards this top side as this Rift Herald has been started now by FPX. They're going to take it away, but look at Hacker. He's running straight in. They're going to knock back the Ryze, and Gori has nowhere to go. He will be the first to fall. They get over the wall there with the onslaught of shadows, and they're going to try and make this one work. Hacker, though, no one to really support him until now. FPX running for the hills after taking that Rift Herald. It's still technically worth for them as they only lose 1.
Ultra Prime not able to follow over the wall, and FPX start to turn around. As you say, like the fact that you managed to get Clid with the steal on towards that Rift Herald is kind of insane. The hacker started it up so long ago, but Clid walks in, gets him back, and now xiaolaohu trying to see if he can be a nuisance on this top side, but will get spotted on the ward.
Yeah, get spotted out. xiaolaohu, no flash, no ultimate either, so will only be relying on his quick draw on to get himself out of any harm's way. But let's have a look at the replay here, because it is just starting off by Hacker, who then backs away. So FPX really feeling confident, but to be so careful when you're coming up against these very much, you know, push forward champions like the Gwen and the Hecarim.
Yeah, Gori, the CC just stopping that there, and means that you can actually get the follow-up here. But Hacker, really nice prediction on the flash over the wall from Clid, but ZS has Ghost. Cryin locked up in low on mana. He's not really able to follow, so it means that the two members of FPX that almost went down just managed to get away.
Now we'll see what they're able to do with this Rift Herald in the back pocket. FPX able to see if they can, or will we be able to see where they're able to put that down, if they're able to make that one worth more than just the 2 tower plates that you are sort of guaranteed to get with it. So we move forward into the game. Minute and a half into the next dragon spawns. Hacker moving towards that turbo chem tank, as we got an immortal shield bow now available for xiaolaohu. He's feeling very good, but on the other side, Gale Force for Elk. So 2 AD carries doing relatively decently so far in this game, as we can see both junglers now hovering towards mid.
I hate this build from Elk though. Like, why not just go Kraken Slayer? Like, who actually is going to deal damage to you in these fights? Like, you're the one who has decent engage, but here we go, Hacker.
He should be fine. Trot himself out there.
But yeah, I think you just go Kraken Slayer. You have a ton of damage. Like, Kraken Slayer runes, you're going to hit onto multiple different people, apply that passive everywhere. Like, the Rapid Fire Gale Force build doesn't give you a huge amount of damage. It's much more about, hey, you know, I'm possibly going to be in trouble here and need to try and play at range. But if you're not going to make use of that, you're always better just going for the Kraken Slayer.
See what if it's able to work out for him. Or not, as Clid finds himself on top of a ward. They don't know the Hacker is here just yet. They do have a Gravitum and the Infernum onto Lwx, so decent wave clear and of course a little bit of decent engage. It is only a 300 gold lead in favor of the Elk, so despite being a kill ahead, it is still just the kill ahead that he has, as Clid now goes back to farming his jungle. Not going to give over the blue buff to the Ryze just yet, as Hacker still roaming around. Very clear, quick clear from the Hecarim means he's able to find more opportunities to maybe make something work in his lanes.
And especially when he's got the Ghost and that ultimate up, it becomes really difficult to keep him in check. Hecarim can close a distance incredibly fast. Ultra Prime, though, not really in the best spot to try and allow that Hecarim in, right? You got reset coming through from Cryin, he's low in mana. Elk hasn't really been able to get like much control over this bot side. xiaoC's been roaming a lot. You even see the mobility boost picked up for him, but it does mean that you're not getting that like devastating 2v2 in the bot lane that maybe Hacker could look to play around. Well,
you still have the Rift Herald here for the side of FPX. And Dragon has spawned. This would be a second one for Ultra Prime, and with the pressure they've got on the bot side, they may look to just get this one for free. You can see Clid dropping the Rift Herald into that mid lane. Looks like it's just going to be the 3 or the 2 plates and nothing more. So still just trading a kill for the gold worth of a kill, as we can see now the rest of Ultra Prime, and they don't know which one they wanted to take. Hacker might have to use his ultimate to get himself over the wall, but they go forward. The Gravitum, they lock down the AD carry and support of Ultra Prime, and now the LeBlanc trying to come in on the backside of this. Wild Growth has to be used, but the Jinx is dead. They're getting the resets as well. Cryin wants so desperately to move forward onto this, but he just can't. He knows he'll be dead to rights. Clid pushing forward, but not able to find anything else. It is still a Dragon for Ultra Prime, and they only traded for 1, but that was very disconnected.
Very messy, especially on that Lantern play. You can see nobody really knew what the plan was, but while that's all going on, ZS does get a plate for himself in the top lane, so all said and done. Not the worst trade in the world. ZS now just gonna go back to trading against xiaolaohu. Again, xiaolaohu finding like really good success in this top lane against ZS. Even in matchups where like ZS in the last game should have had a reasonable time, xiaolaohu was just outperforming him. But we're going to come back here. You can see like Hacker wants to take the Lantern, Elk can run to take it, and it means that Hacker forced to use his ult defensively as Gori comes over the wall, but honestly kind of pushes Gori into Elk's retreat path. So the whole thing just going very hayward as Cryin. Yes, he can get some damage off, but not strong enough just yet to burst someone out completely.
You can see he was so tempted as well. You have a full mana bar, full health bar. All you want to do is run forward into that team and take them all down with a distortion, but holds the trigger, Good bit of discipline there for Cryin in the mid lane. Doesn't go too quickly, and we're at a pretty much even state in terms of the gold. Despite there being 2 extra kills here for the side of Ultra Cryin, they've got themselves 2 dragons, but good farm numbers here for the Aphelios and the Graves more specifically. It's just keeping FPX nicely in tow. And actually, I was looking at the Graves. He's already 30 CS ahead, and 164 CS at 14 minutes is kind of insane.
Yeah, I mean, xiaolaohu's a nuts. Like, he's just so damn good. Cryin, though, looking for the setup.
Looking for something. Cryin, though, needs to be very careful. They will get the golden goats out of... Or golden ghost. The golden goose out of Gori as he finally goes down. The rest of Ultra Prime are there. They put 4 people in mid lane. They get themselves their prize. And it looks like they're going to use that pressure to get themselves a Rift Herald.
Maybe even that mid lane turret as well. But the turret plate's gone. They're going to do some serious work. Hook goes wide. It's cleared. Will clear out the wave. And now you can just see Ultra Prime like still taking a step up. And yes, FPX are answering, right? The gold lead is even. But remember what we said earlier, right? If you let this game go late, FPX don't really have the way to battle against Ultra Prime, right? xiaolaohu doesn't have full control against Gwen in the late game in the side lanes. Cryin is perfectly set up fine against Gori, who's 0 and 3. And the team fight from Ultra Prime is far superior in this scenario.
Oh. Might be in a little bit of trouble here. We can see now Hong trying to run in there. They're going to have to force to use a lot here to keep him safe. He's thinking about going in. Did not have flash available to him, but little things like that, you got to be very, very careful of. This Viego can do a lot of damage, and going to steal away a red buff as well. So they get themselves a tower. They don't lose mid lane tower just yet, and honestly, it looks like FPX are feeling a little bit more comfortable at this moment.
You're just trying to move around the map. Like, you're still all right here as Ultra Prime, right? You didn't lose much. It was Gale Force committed by Elk to get out of that, so it's not like it's a massive cooldown. FPX trying to group mid, but you've always got to keep your eyes on the Rift Herald that Hacker has. He can start to move in. They can get this mid tower down, and then start to try and like unlock Cryin from the mid lane to move 2 sides. But honestly, the 1-3-1 has already kind of started for FPX, and you really need Ultra Prime to be matching these sides, or they're going to start to fall behind.
Yeah, I think Ultra Prime need to learn how the Lantern works. It's twice now we've seen some questionable plays around the Lantern play as such, so we'll see if it does anything. Gale Force has been finished up, though, for Lwx on the other side, so we'll see. And actually the Shirelia's Revelry, so good bit of engage and disengage should Hong decide to use that one, as the rest of FPX now find themselves into the mid lane. The turret is a sneeze away from going down. Should be pretty easy for them to be able to take it. As I say that, they are just pushing in. Yeah, there we go. They have got themselves enough. And this time around, he takes the Dark Passage and gets himself out.
Yeah, I saw the lantern. I was like, do we get it this time? Are we all right? But let's wait. 39 seconds until this dragon, though. So, looking at what we've got available, Jinx has only got the Zeal and the Gale Force. Not exactly the best spots. Lwx is working up towards the Collector. So, honestly, Lwx in these spots probably going to be able to churn out as much damage as Elk in the AD carry matchup. But again, the big question is like, how do FPX actually lock down the members of Ultra Prime? Like Cryin, if he's in a good spot, can look to like pop over wall, get a bunch of burst damage off. You've got the range Jinx can play us as Hacker. Dirty gets caught there. That's not exactly what you want.
No, Dark Passage is down. They do get a turret in bot side, but it looks like FPX are happy to just kind of take control of mid lane, look to try and push that one in before moving down into the Dragons. So they're going to be the first ones on the scene, despite the pressure that Ultra Prime had. xiaolaohu takes a little bit of harass, but nothing too crazy. They are aware of the Gwen on the pinch. Important to note there that Elk just got his flash up, as did Gori. So all summoners available for pretty much everybody. Shelly in the bat side just batting away the minions as the Dragon has been started. FPX really want to try and stop this counter to try and go in. There's going to be a lot of damage. Lwx is dead, as is xiaolaohu, and here comes the cavalry. They jump in with the onslaught of shadows as the Gwen moves forward, and Ultra Prime take absolutely everything. Clint left all by himself. Will get a trade back. Will maybe be able to get himself an effigy. No, he cannot, because there's a death sentence from xiaoC, and now it's going to be a Dragon Soul point for Ultra Prime.
And that was just so well played by Ultra Prime. He said, look, the team fight for Ultra Prime is great. You just don't have the lockup to really contest Ultra Prime. Cryin in a phenomenal flank spot, able to set up alongside ZS. I mean, you've got so many enemies coming in from different angles, it's impossible for FPX to get situated correctly, right? Like, ZS and Cryin on one angle, you can't try and engage with the Hacker. Great hook from xiaoC to finish off xiaolaohu, but ZS and Cryin have already burst out Lwx, and where's your damage now? I mean, Gori's got CC straight off the bat from for the engage from the Hecarim, and there's just nothing left.
Just nothing left. Cryin will trade back his life. Actually ends up flashing as well. Bit unfortunate there for him, but great hook there from xiaoC to stop it. Distortion, LeBlanc running away, and now the game is 4,000 gold in the favor of Ultra Prime. They've got themselves a Mountain Soul point as well, so in 4 minutes time, you're going to a little bit over it. You're going to have that fight once again, and that's just not what you want. You mentioned it so many times, the Hecarim, the Gwen, there's just so much available to you on the side of Ultra Prime that FPX, they really will struggle to do anything about it.
And it's kind of what I'm surprised to see this composition come through from it, right? Like, we talked about FPX wanting to play around a strong bot lane. Not a strong bot lane when you consider the matchup. You look towards the ability to actually play through sides. That's not what FPX are known for. They like to play these team fights that enable Lwx. So the whole composition as a whole does seem kind of bizarre to me. And even Lwx, okay, but even Hung, like Hung, we kind of look at like, hey, this engage tool, right? Like, loves flashing in aggressively, setting up these fights. Not what Lulu does.
ZS, they're going to find himself in a 2v1. I wouldn't count out the Gwen just yet. Is he going to try and jump into xiaolaohu? He's taking a lot of damage. The flash away. ZS should go down here. The Super Mega Death Rocket comes back. He tries to get the slip snip out, but not able to make it work. But while that's been happening, you're losing so much in the mid lane. That lane is now completely exposed, and Ultra Prime, they got what they wanted.
TP coming in from Cryin into the bot lane to defend the tower. May actually be able to chase down xiaolaohu, but doesn't really want to. Baron is in control of Ultra Prime. Got the vision control down off of that push in the mid lane. So for Ultra Prime, you're pretty alright with just losing ZS on a side lane. It really doesn't matter that much.
No, it does not. And now, trying to clear out some Baron vision. You're about 4,000 gold behind 3 dragons. You actually have objective bounties here available for FPX, so they'll get a little bit of extra gold once they take that top turret. But let's have a look at this one here. They see xiaoC and Elk, so they know they're coming here. Lwx just not paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Goes toward the bush so then he can spot out where they already know they are. Seems a bit strange to me, especially with Hung committed to the bot side. Like, you're completely on your own there as Lwx. So Lwx making a fairly sizable mistake, but honestly, I don't think it's going to change the path of this game too much. Like, FPX have got to try and look for some sort of pick to slow down Ultra Prime, but they're not really getting the opportunity to do that, right? Like, you're only kind of setup tools for that are maybe Lwx with a Graviton, which he has at the moment, or Clid trying to find some sort of snare, but the vision control is there for Ultra Prime. Like, they're not really allowing FPX much of a spot, and like, even if you manage to get them, right, like, you've got one CC tool and you've still got flashes and everything that are on most members of Ultra Prime, or at least some way of escaping from that engage.
Well, Pro Team's going to be happy enough to try and take down some of these turrets, get a little bit of standing gold. xiaolaohu recognizing I don't need to be anywhere else, and he's doing the best he possibly can, living his best life. And honestly, this could be a big moment here for Ultra Prime. They're trying to see if they can maybe force this Baron. FPX have an opportunity to maybe bring this one back.
They're checking every bush. Now they'll spot. There's the TP. But Ultra Prime, that's all they really wanted, right? Like, they know that ZS can't really deal with xiaolaohu in a side lane, so instead, they just burn the TP from xiaolaohu. Now Ultra Prime set to defend mid, as ZS will move down to this bot side to collect that big wave.
Yeah, I feel like FPX were just a little bit too quick to try and answer that call there. They could have maybe waited a couple more seconds, kept xiaolaohu in that bot side. I understand he went back and picked himself up a bit more damage, but just not really where you want to be. Cryin, the flash forward from xiaoC as he lands the hook. They go in with the onslaught of shadows. They try to get the Moonlight Vigil off, and that's a big shutdown now onto the Hecarim. Way too far aggressive, as we can see now ZS trying to make something work for him. He's finally in with the teleport, but there's nowhere for else in to go. 30 seconds till the dragon spawn, and you don't have your jungler.
It's Valentine's Day. I will spread love. I will not cut out all the anger that is in my body right now at that point.
It's a beautiful holiday, and I will not have it sullied by negative thoughts.
It just didn't make sense to me from Ultra Prime. ZS, you just got the TP and bot. He's moved down to bot lane, and with Elk unable to get into position, that's where you decide to fight. Well, I love you for trying. Moving over though, Elk Sorry, FPX here trying to get the dragon. He should get it before it goes down.
Klid's very low. He does get the secure and flashes away. Now ZS is a little bit too far forward. Elk is on the side here. They are going to be able to get the Realm Warp and get everybody out. It was a little bit touch and go, but FPX get the dragon, get themselves back out, and now they're only about 1,500 gold behind, so it's not as bad in that front, but like you said, scaling very much on Ultra Prime's side.
Yeah, ZS shown on that bot wave as well just before we hop into this replay means that FPX know Ultra Prime are going for Baron, but look, Elk isn't in a position to follow up on any of this, right? So you are essentially in a 3 versus 4 scenario. Now Elk gets 1 Gale Force off before this fight's done. ZS is pieced out to the bot lane. He TP'd in to get 1 snip. Like, I don't know. The thought process isn't there.
They're just sharing the love, you know. Just wanted so badly to give Klid a hug that xiaolaohu decided to flash hook to bring him over closer, you know. Mortal Kombat style. Get over here and give me a hug. As oh look, it looks like a heart, sort of. Looks kind of more like a butt, but whatever.
Isn't that the origins of the heart?
I
like
think
the
so. Yeah, I think
symbol,
yeah, it's like upside down. It looks like a butt.
Yeah.
Because you know, if you know what a heart looks like, I'm gonna stop myself. Because Klid has to use himself. The heart breaker breaks our own heart. And see, we're keeping on theme today. It's a good day to be on theme. Can't wait for Shockton to go go.
Yeah, take 2.
Yeah, take
Irish
2.
Week. Yeah.
Irish week.
Anyway, Ultra Prime moving in. Hung needs to be careful of not getting hooked. So does Klid. But xiaolaohu's just gone wide. ZS now pushing in this top side. And full control for Ultra Prime here, which is why FPX are struggling.
And they are struggling quite a bit. Hong almost goes down. Important to note, though, he doesn't lose his flash and he doesn't lose his ultimate. So still has that kiting tool available to him, but will have to reset. And that should be a go sign here for the side of Ultra Prime to start up this Baron.
Yeah, and Elk moving in here with ZS. They should get a lot of damage down. Cryin, I like these trying to keep away. Not the box that I want to see from xiaolaohu, but trying to keep FPX out. You know that Cryine's not going to do a lot to Baron, so he's trying to do the damage to FPX.
Oh, they go over the wall. They're trying to go for it. Moonlight Vigil has been used as xiaolaohu keeps himself alive. The onslaught of Shadow. The Hecarim is dead, and this Baron is so low they can't get over the wall, though. Klid does not have his ultimate just
Cryin,
yet.
stop
They're trying to
this.
finish this one up. Cryin, what are you doing? Where are they going? He gets to steal. FPX have been gifted a miracle, and they're turning it all the way around. Ultra Prime didn't know what to do, and they fumbled the ball in the end zone.
I
Don't leave me alone with this.
Why?
You have to be here.
Klid is there. Klid has his ult. Klid can follow over the wall easily. They have vision on the Baron. Why are you trying to finish the Baron in that scenario? Just let it go. Let her go. It's over. It's done. God, why?
Just, yeah, I don't...
Look, great job from xiaolaohu here, right? And Lwx gets a ton of damage with the Moonlight Vigil on the wall. They're doing a really good job. Hacker, unfortunately, tries to, like, pick off xiaolaohu before he goes over. But this job's done. It's over. But they still have vision in the pit. Why are you trying to burst Baron? Like, it's always going to go to Klid. And even, like, I don't know. Ultra Prime, like, you have everything in this game. You have the draft diff. You have the gold diff. At least you had. Now, you've given it to FPX, and they've got Baron, and they're just running it straight down onto all these existing towers for Ultra Prime.
Yeah, running it down in probably the best way possible. They are just doing so much, and like I said, it's a miracle. It's a gift for FPX because Klid didn't have ultimate. Klid didn't have flash. And it felt like those timers just weren't being tracked by the side of Ultra Prime because they panicked. They didn't know what to do. They could have just, like you mentioned, backed away, taken the L, and walked away. But now we're seeing tier 2s being taken out. Now we're seeing a split push come out from the 2 solo laners. They are really starting to put down the hammer here. And this Hecarim is slowly losing its relevance. This Viego slowly gaining in terms of the skirmishing power. And you're losing a lot of pressure here as Ultra Prime. And straight up, you just shouldn't be in this situation.
Now, there's no way that FPX should have been able to get that Baron and then move into this. You have the push coming through on this bot side now to just keep that wave off, but tier 2 tower is gone. Dragon in 30 seconds. FPX need to be in position to try and steal this. Gori doesn't have his TP, but should be out of base in time. LeBlanc only coming out of the base now for Cryin. Maybe Ultra Prime can redeem themselves in this fight with the Infinity Edge completed for Elk. If they can play this right, they should be able to get it, but I'm not convinced after the last kerfuffle that we had.
Yeah, no, a little fumble, and We do have a Nashor's Tooth, though, onto the Gwens. The Gwen very much online. Infinity Edge was finished for xiaolaohu, so both the top laners on either side very, very powerful should they get on top of you, so have to keep careful of that. FPX now starting the Dragon. Lwx will take a bit of a hit. The Dragon has been spawned up towards that top side, so favoring Ultra Prime. It resets back into the pit. So you can see now both teams just hovering around, seeing what they want to go for, seeing what they can do. Here we go. They're going to go for the full fight as the Gwen goes in. They try to get the onslaught of shadows onto Lwx, and he is dead. The Gwen has finally done the job as he jumps back onto the backside. The Thresh has fallen, and now the rest of the team can really make this one work. It is finally the soul for Ultra Prime, and they are still pushing out on top of this. Gori is still pretty big. They have to respect him. At the end of it all, it is still 2 kills to 1 in favor of Ultra Prime, and they got the soul.
Just about, I will say, getting the soul. It was actually not the smite, but Elk managed to secure that. xiaolaohu now keeping Ultra Prime at bay as Elk wrapping around with the TP.
They're going to go for it. There's the Realm Warp coming in, but they're going to find himself between 4 people. xiaolaohu gets himself over the wall as Gori's kind of saying, look, I got to make something work for us here, but he's just not going to find anything. Elk picks that one up. He was the perfect bait, and now Ultra Prime finally get themselves back into control of this game.
I don't know if I want a game 3. I really don't.
It's not about what you want. It's not about you. It's about us. This is Valentine's Day, and we're gonna have fun.
Like, again, this is like why I was talking about Ultra Prime having big advantages in this game, right? Like Lwx, there's very little you can do. There's so much follow-up. There's little to no heal. But I want you to keep your eyes on this pit, right? xiaolaohu is in the pit with the dragon. The spike comes through 100 HP, and Elk is the one who grabs the dragon. That was nearly stolen by the Graves, but team fight does go the way of Ultra Prime. They now have the soul, and surely they can close this one out.
Well, don't call me Shirley, and we'll see what happens. That's a really bad joke.
Airplane reference, yeah.
Yeah, that's an old movie, man, even for us. I think it was Airplane 2. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. But again, very old movie. But coming back into the game, Gwen pretty much going to be working towards that Zhonya so they can get some more survivability. On the other side, though, you've gone full AD carry for xiaolaohu. You are looking to just one-shot basically any carry that get on top of you. But again, you have to be in the right position. This time around for Gori, rather than the Cryin Ryze build we saw last game, he is going very much tank Ryze. He's got himself a Thimble Winter alongside the Frozen Heart, so working towards just being able to survive in these fights. And Hex Drinker for Lwx is decent, and the stopwatch, so he's got a lot of survivability. I feel like FPX, they're gonna have to make this one work at the next Baron in 30 seconds, or they are just not gonna have any more options available to them.
Yeah. TP not available for ZS, though, means that he's on this top side. Cryin is with the team, so I was wondering if they just leave xiaolaohu to try and push in on this bot side, like maybe double up onto the minion wave to with Gori having that TP soon to just go for a trade on Baron. But I don't know, like giving Baron for the inhibitor bot is a very risky play, especially as you're kind of putting your backs against the wall. But honestly, I don't know if FPX can take this fight unless again they find someone out of position, or they can, you know, have Ultra Prime kind of mess it up again.
Yeah, I like this though from FPX. They're recognizing that the Graves is being collapsed on relatively quickly, so they take this opportunity to then move in, get some vision control back down. Hacker still hovering around in case there was to be a quick start here. Hacker now off the side, maybe looking for an engage or a fight, but FPX as a 4-man team will not be held that same kind of flank engage once again as they now push themselves forward. And it does feel like Ultra Prime not feeling super confident in their own team fight as of the moment. They are very aware that they're without their LeBlanc. They don't want to commit to something where they could end up losing.
I mean, slowly but surely gaining vision traction in this river, though. There's not really anyone on FPX, we said, who can like start off a quick pick, unless you're looking at maybe Cleat getting something off. But that means that you've got to face plant yourself into xiaoC.
I'm not quite sure what just happened there. My brain cannot compute, and now the Baron can be started. You're without your Thresh. as now we see what the side of Ultra Prime can do. They can still go in with the onslaught of shadows. We are going to see ZS going in. The needlework will do work as they go in. It's going to be secured by FPX, and now the fight can really start off. We reset down as the Gwen is almost taking people down. Double kill for Cryin though, and the Jinx is still pushing out damage. These carries are just too damn big. It's going to be all on Clid. He gets one reset. He gets maybe another one. It's a quadra kill though for Cryin as he looks to maybe make this a penta. It's 1 against 3. Can he make it work? He knows there's no more to do as Cryin looks for something. Clid runs away. He will not get the pentakill today, but Ultra Prime, they lose the Baron, but they kill everyone else.
Yeah, the TPs are coming through though. ZS reset. That was your best chance, Clid, to shut down Ultra Prime. Yes, you got the Baron, but you've lost everyone. He needs to just go for it, try and find the damage, but not convinced that he could do it. And now Ultra Prime, despite the fact they don't have the Baron, they could be the ones knocking on the base.
I mean, Scuttle, sure. That's what you needed to get right there, Clid, but will finally get his reset off, and they will break open the base on the side of Ultra Prime, so FPX will lose a little bit more, but they are still in the gold lead.
So just for context on the Scuttle, 45 seconds until Elder. Having that speed up in that area is going to be super important, so here is the play though. xiaolaohu, like, that's the only way that you lose this. But even the fact that FPX end up trying to like flip this is absolutely insane. Like, just try and take the fight instead. But LWX caught in the back line. There's just too much damage. Elk again. This is why you don't need the Gale Force. Completely untouched. Like, if this was Kraken Slayer, this is a fight that's just so much easier for you to win. xiaolaohu's doing a ton of work here as well, like flashing in to get the picks. And then Clid, I thought this was it. I could see it, like, but unfortunately, like, not actually able to get the damage. Like, Cryin doesn't have the cooldowns right now to actually make these plays happen, and you have the reset on the ult, but what? Hung's gone.
Yeah, Cryin will not lose this game. He gets his 5th kill out of the last 4 for Ultra Prime, a very delayed pentakill, if you will. And now Elder Drake is up. Elder Drake is being taken. FPX, they gotta flip it. They gotta go for it. They can't just wait.
But if you lose one more, you're just gone. Clid now caught out. Dragon's still too healthy.
They're still too healthy. They're going to use the Heartbreaker to get him away. They're going to try and make this one work. ZS goes in with the needlework, not quite able to finish him off, but it is enough to dissuade the rest of FPX. Ultra Prime claim themselves the Elder Drake, and now FPX got to keep running away. They cannot deal with this team fight anymore. I feel like they're just getting outscaled.
And they can't deal with Cryin either. Like, Elder Dragon Cryin is going to be able to burst pretty much everyone on FPX's side apart from Gori, because that gigantic health bar this Ryze build has. But you see there, right? Electric, you just finishing off Lulu in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And now Ultra Prime feeling strong, pushing in here. Baron is about to wear off in 10 seconds, and look at the gold difference. Minus 2,500 gold off the Baron power play.
Oh, Clid's looking for a flank. He's looking for something, maybe even just a push off the minions as best as he can possibly do right now as the rest of Ultra Prime push forward. They don't have any minions left, and Clid's just playing his best keep away as he possibly can. Should be able to run away after this as well, as the rest of Ultra Prime are hunting him down. Eventually will get caught out and sees them all running back towards that mid lane, but Clid, he's just going to do the exact same thing again. Ultra Prime need to deal with this nuisance.
They have the wave though this time. They've actually managed to march it up, and now still got a minute and a half left. They can look for the end if they can find the fight, but the wave clear is too good.
Yeah, they've got themselves a Aphelios, they've got themselves a Ryze. You just cannot clear out these minions, and now you can see Clid just being a nuisance, making sure he could just be on the backside, something for Ultra Prime to think about, and it means Ultra Prime will get the inhibitor and nothing else.
Yeah, and this is the last wave that Ultra Prime could remake a play off of, so you get the inhibitor, sure, but you don't really get anything else. Clid doing a wonderful job of keeping that in check, whereas when you look at like the waves that were lost on bot, the big wave that was lost on top that nearly took that top inhibitor for FPX, sorry, top inhibitor turret, honestly, you're not actually that out of it with the, even with the Dragon going over to Ultra Prime.
Yeah, because the Dragon didn't really do a lot. Normally we see the Dragon taken, you go into a team fight, you're able to convert it into something else, but we're only 30 seconds left on that buff. You're going to get another wave pushed in, but with Gori and of course LWX in position, nothing really to be worried about on the side of FPX, and the gold lead is still technically in FPX's favor, but not 100%, you know, in anyone's court right now. It feels like both teams are just going to hit critical mass pretty soon. Both AD carries now looking to finish off their final items, similar enough to the mid laners as well. Top laners have almost been full build this entire game, it feels like, because they've just been farming up an absolute storm. We actually have 400 CS right now for xiaolaohu as we can push in now and see Ultra Prime looking to try and make something work as a minute until that Baron spawns.
Yeah, LWX really needs to swap this collector for the last, or Lord Dominic's regard. Like, he's just not hurting the front line of Ultra Prime, and you know he's got that Hex Trigger there because the damage is coming through from Cryin, but if you really want to have him be a big carry here, he needs to swap that item. But for Ultra Prime, they're in a good spot, right? Like, you've already got the last item coming through here for Elk. Cryin is monstrous at the moment as well, and because of the range advantage, there's not much that FPX can do with the push going in top. Vision control established for Ultra Prime in the topside jungle, and Baron is up in 30 seconds. How do you try and leave your base as FPX right now?
I will say gold does not matter anymore, but top lane in terms of the Gwen has finished it up. Graves will be finishing off his last item here. I imagine it to be a Bloodthirster to give himself an extra bit of survivability. We'll see the Super Mega Death Rocket come out just to delay the back. That's actually pretty big. xiaolaohu will have a TP available, but it does stop the side of FPX from pushing forward and getting the time they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, not having that ult, though, might be an issue. I mean, it's about 3/4 of the way back up, so... Sorry, about 1/4 of the way back up, so maybe it's not going to be too much, but FPX, maybe they can try and find this window of opportunity. xiaolaohu moving out of the base. ZS already trying to clear a vision in the pit.
Yeah, they are hiding in that brush there. If that hook lands, that is a dead clit. I don't care who you are, what you do. He's actually a GA for xiaolaohu. Goes for pure survivability, getting those resets in and trying to get himself back in.
LWX.
Find himself. LWX in a lot of trouble. He gets himself away, though. One stop down the Moonlight Vigil and goes straight into GA. The Viego, the Lulu are dead. Ultra Prime have found their target, and there's nowhere else for you to go. Double kill there for the Gwen. Maybe even a triple. Not going to be today. It's going to be a double-double as they finally finish off Gori, and there's going to be a double-triple for Elk as we come back into this game. Full ace. Ultra Prime bringing us to game 3.
And it was just LWX taking that step too far forward, and Ultra Prime pounce. No engage for FPX coming back to bite them there as Ultra Prime, with the wave slowly conga lining its way in, will take the win.
And as we said, this matchup on paper, probably not as close as people thought, but if you look at the matchup, if you look at where they are in the standing, this is exactly what we expected. Two teams fighting it out, looking to try and get themselves up into the top 10. Ultra Prime not done with this series just yet.
I did think it'd be cleaner from Ultra Prime, though. Like, when you have as many advantages as were going in their favor, this shouldn't have